Fortnite Creative 2.0 has been available to us for over a year now, and while some people have simply used it to make slightly more polished versions of red versus blue maps, others have taken the time to create something actually worth playing. So today, we're taking a look at 30 of the weirdest, wildest, and most unique Fortnite Creative maps you can jump into today. Let's start off strong with one of the best creative maps I've played in a while. While the trend of RPG-style boss fight focused maps isn't a new trend, it's rarely done well. But designer CM Create really nailed it here, taking the essence of World of Warcraft and packing it into the Fortnite universe. From the unique enemy models to the custom chests spread throughout the world, the attention to detail here is incredible. But what most people will be here for is the boss fight. The dragon comes armed to the teeth with multiple attacks and a horde of unique enemies that it spawns throughout the fight. But if you and your fellow adventurers can manage to slay the beast on one of the 3 different difficulty levels, you'll be rewarded your fair share of coin and legendary items. I could probably make a whole video about this map honestly, and while it has some rough edges here and there, ultimately I believe that if you're looking for a map in this sort of genre, this is by far the best one out there. Now another map in this genre that you might have seen pop up in your recommended tab is Valhalla Boss Fight. While creator Bifrost definitely nailed the iconic serpent boss fight they featured in their thumbnail, the rest of the world felt a bit more empty. It's the usual game plan of fighting through the infinitely spawning zombies for gold that you could spend in the hub for new stuff. It's hard to really blame them for having generic zombie enemies, as that's really all we have access to right now. And creating your own models to track onto them like Mega World Boss Fight did is a lot of work. It just feels more repetitive in comparison. There are other mini-boss style NPCs you can fight here and there, but there's not much to them. So check this one out for the boss fight, but outside of that, not much reason to sink a bunch of time in here. I get it. Naming things is hard. But what is going on here? The Tokyo Dragon in Neighbor Tokyo has more issues than just a confusing name though. To illustrate this, here's the first few seconds of the game, unedited. So yeah, from there I was pretty confident this was going to be great. The boss eats your bullets like Queso eats McNuggets. Figuring out which of his attacks will one-shot you and which one will just lightly kiss you on the forehead is a toss-up. And the arenas change up randomly every 60 seconds, leaving you spinning around trying to find the dragon again before he rails you with his giant. Anyway, I don't want to be neighbors with this dragon. If you're looking for more of a faster paced, one and done style boss fight map, I suggest checking out Rampage Boss Fight. It's a linear map where you fight through hordes of orcs, wolves, and whatever the hell these things are to fight the final boss. Or just yeet them off the map with a gravity hammer, but I don't think you're supposed to actually do that. It took me a while to finish this solo because these orcs are actually decently challenging, but with a full squad, I imagine you'll probably be done with this in about 10 minutes or less. Now on to some of the weirder maps. If you grew up playing the old school WarioWare games on the Game Boy Advance, then Don't Press the Button is the map for you. Ignore the clear instructions, press the button, and launch you and your friends into one of several weird and random minigames. One minute you're racing shopping carts down a tunnel full of cats, and the next you're trying not to get knocked into the ocean by a giant horny lizard. I love maps like this. I don't always need things to be polished, I just need them to be fun. And this is pure fun and chaos. Plus, many of the maps have their own soundtracks that are hilariously terrible and amazing at the same time.
It is King Biggy. I will grant you 2K life, and the best one will survive.
I highly recommend you check this one out. But one thing I can't recommend is that children do drugs. But it might be required to play this next map through till the end. This nearly infinite slide map takes you through a digital fever dream of randomly changing themes, each with their own weird music and sound effects.
Here comes the Candyman. Candy.
The obstacles are easy enough to avoid, but the nightmares you'll suffer after sliding into this clam's mouth will be with you forever. Is the map good? No. Should you play it?
You know you want to take a bite.
Yes. 1v1 maps are supposed to be simple, straightforward, and usually just something you jump on for some quick practice or to settle a bet with your friend to see who's actually gone the longest without touching grass. But what they're not supposed to be is this abomination. If you invite your friends to pop into this map for a little pre-ranked warm-up and the first thing they hear is this,
everything you need to do has already been done.
game night is over, bud, and now we're all very uncomfortable. And there's no escaping it. No matter how many times you try to yeet yourself off the map, you end up right back here, staring deep into mommy's eyes.
And that will never change.
Time for a pallet cleanser, so here's a chip. Do we all feel better now? I promise there's no more weird ASMR. Fuck! There's another one! God damn it!
You know this isn't a healthy coping mechanism.
Fortnite is a prop hunt map set in an Ikea. Now, if you don't know what an Ikea is, imagine a labyrinth from Homer's Odyssey, and inside of it, there's an endless amount of tiny fake rooms, full of furniture with names that no one can pronounce, and instead of a minotaur, there's a cafe that sells meatballs. Make sense? Good. This unique prop hunt map delivers well in its theming with several different rooms that blend into, as well as a rather interesting taunting system.
Muchas gracias, afición. Este para vosotros.
While there are a lot of cheeky spots you could hide in if you really wanted to, me and the group of randoms I was playing with were having a lot more fun trolling the hunters than actually hiding. There was a distinct lack of meatballs on this map though, so take from that what you will. For this next one, I'm actually going to take an opportunity to throw my own hat in the ring here and talk about my new map, Super Fortnite Brawl. It's a side-scrolling 4v4 platform fighting game inspired by the likes of Super Smash Bros. And Brawlhalla. Collect an array of randomly generated items, weapons, and power-ups to help you eliminate the other team and secure your hold on the city. I put a lot of little details into this one for the fun of it, including the design of the pre-game lobby, so I hope y'all enjoy it. I tried to keep it fairly simple so anyone can hop in and enjoy it, even if you're playing 1v1, but I do plan on adding more arenas to it in the future that you can vote on. If you do end up checking it out, feel free to let me know in the comments, and if you hate it, you're also welcome to let me know in the comments. Just make sure your feedback is either very constructive or very sarcastic, because if you're not properly insulting me or properly educating me, then what are we even doing here? There's no shortage of minigame style maps out there, but few are as polished in their presentation as box minigames. The voting lobby is perfectly stylized with an interactive voting system and slick animations to get you into each game. While most of the games are just the usual variations of box fights, there are still plenty of other options to vote on, from musical chairs to the chaotic fun of rip and tear. But no matter which game you prefer, I highly suggest you check this one out. If you can take a classic board game and make it feel polished and right at home in Fortnite, you've got a winner in my book, and that's exactly what Fort Who achieves here. Taking one of my favorite board games, Guess Who, and turning it into a fully fleshed out game, including a theme voting system, custom board design, and an easy to use question system, there's not much left to ask for here. While it can be tough to find opponents sometimes when it's a strictly 1v1 game, if you can jump in with a friend, you'll probably lock into this one for quite a while. Do you like Uno? I like Uno. This is Uno in Fortnite. So if you want to take a break from being frustrated with getting sniped for the 10th time today and instead get frustrated by being hit with 3 skip turns in a row, give Crazy Cards a chance. Someone will have fun in this game, it just may not be you. Freeze Tag was and still is a superior playground game, but that's not to say that adding superpowers to it wouldn't make it more fun. So that's where Hyper Freeze Tag comes in. You choose one of 4 abilities that will help you avoid the ominously cute penguin hunter and rescue your frozen friends. Block Master lets you create temporary floating blocks under you when you jump, Stealth lets you go invisible for a few seconds while not moving, Flash Dash lets you pretend to be a knockoff Tracer, and Pillar Throw lets you look like an idiot for a bit before getting tagged. I wish there was more arenas, but aside from that, this was an absolute blast to play. Brawl Stars is Brawl Stars, but in Fortnite. Is it original? No. Is this the only map that's tried to rip off Brawl Stars? Also no. Do I recommend you play it? Yes, but also no. Here's the thing. The concept of the map is fun. Unlock unique classes with fun names and characters assigned to them, then battle it out in randomly selected arenas. It's a recreation of the game almost to a T, but simplified for Fortnite. But what if, and hear me out here, we came up with our own original ideas? The base idea here could easily be reworked into something that feels far more like a unique idea that actually belongs in Fortnite, instead of delivering people a mediocre carbon copy. So if someone could go ahead and make that real quick please, that would be great, thanks. I'm a firm believer that Frogger is just better than Crossy Road, but if you disagree because you weren't born in the 90s, then here you go. You can play Crossy Road in Fortnite, but with a llama, and better graphics. Have fun. If you're looking for a sleek dystopian nightclub you can hang out in by yourself, then look no further. Fortnite's hottest club is Makeverse Social Club. Club promoter Bunny Wolf has gone all out. They've got generic Fortnite music looping on every wall, pre-made room temperature cocktails, hip guys pretending to be on their phone instead of talking to you, the brightest dance floor you've ever been on, and a mannequin pretending to be a DJ. This club is empty 7 days a week, so make sure to reserve your spot in line now. If you're one of the 99% of people that can't afford an Apple Vision Pro, then Fortnite Vision Pro is just the saddest alternative you can find. Here you can immerse yourself in a single Christmas-themed Fortnite video with no sound, or play Billy Listen from the Party Royale radio. There are no other options. You will enjoy those 2 pieces of content. No other buttons work. Resistance is futile. You will assimilate.
You will assimilate. You will assimilate. You will.
Lumberjack Heroes is, by far, the best tycoon game based around the wanton destruction of our environment. Cut down trees for wood. Use that wood to buy performance-enhancing drugs so you can grow stronger and cut down even more wood. Then sell that wood to take over more public lands that you could deforest. Occasionally while cutting down trees you'll find rare animal eggs. Make sure to capture those and turn them into pets against their will so they can help you cut down even more trees. At one point the game will warn you that with every tree you chop down you hear something growling nearby. That's just what's left of your conscience begging you to stop before you doom all future generations. We're gonna go ahead and ignore that though, because we've still got a lot of cutting to do. Eventually you're going to find a golden tree that can probably cure cancer or something, but we're just going to pay this trustworthy individual to let us absorb its powers instead so we can cut things down even faster. Such a great map. Really looking forward to seeing this become a historical teaching tool in about 10 years when these are the only trees left on Earth. Treehouse Tycoon is the lesser known sequel to Lumberjack Heroes, believe it or not. Here you'll learn how to automate the deforestation of our planet so you can build your own billionaire treehouse. If you're worried that the automation process is becoming too boring and you feel yourself yearning for a more hands-on connection to the demise of our future generations, you can purchase a gun and shoot your fellow neighbors from your balcony for sport. Do you feel better now? Rampage Tycoon is set 100 years after the events of Treehouse Tycoon. Here, you'll help the US military fight against Mother Nature itself, as she attempts to funnel her rage against humanity into the creation of an army of abominations to stop us once and for all. But at this point in the future, 95% of the US budget is already going towards the military, so we have a large assortment of giant mech fighters waiting on standby for moments like this, so it's not really a big threat. So you know, just go out there and have fun. We'll all be dead soon anyway. Sleep Tycoon is by far the worst one in this series, if I'm being honest. In this one, they take us forward another 200 years to find what's left of humanity all plugged into VR cryostasis pods as they float helplessly through the universe aboard the only spacefaring vessel remaining in search of a new habitable planet. Here you'll explore a subpar virtual recreation of what nature used to look like and build a large empty home in which the program will attempt to recreate what sleeping feels like. But the dreaming aspect of the VR programming was a bit rushed, so it forces you to play the same 3 minigames over and over and over again, while the creeping feelings of guilt that you can't shake after having taken part in the destruction of the Earth continue to destroy your mind, even in cryosleep. Anyway, let me know if any of you reach King of Sleep status, that would be pretty cool. If the last few maps have gotten you feeling a bit depressed after having to face the bleak realities of our impending future, then maybe it's time for you to embrace your emotions in depression time. Here you can explore the dimly lit and rainy landscape of an abandoned city, or take in the local art while enjoying an array of calming music tracks, including an electronic rendition of Hurt by Johnny Cash. I don't know how much of that I can actually play before getting a copyright strike, so let's go ahead and move on. If you ever had the pleasure of enjoying the original Spider-Man movie game that was released back in 2002 on the original Xbox and PlayStation 2, then you'll likely appreciate the nostalgic journey that is Spiderverse Rome. I spent hours playing that game as a kid, doing nothing but exactly this, swinging around the city, occasionally fighting random thugs along the way. The story missions didn't matter. I had a whole low-resolution city to explore, and that's all I needed. Well, that and Bruce Campbell insulting me through the entire tutorial, but sadly he is missing from this map.
Hey, King of the World, don't let it go to your head, okay? Hooray for you, you're swinging.
I won't hold that against it though. I love Capture the Flag as a game mode, but on average, I don't think the Fortnite community has the brain cells required to follow objective-based rules. They understand cranking 90s and emoting, but capture a flag, secure an objective, defuse a bomb? You're asking too much from them. Go play Overwatch or Valorant if you expect people to know how to do that stuff. We've got gnomes to collect here. I'll be honest in saying that I've never played Poppy's Playtime before, or even knew what it was before this, so I had to look up what this next map was actually based on. But in short, this is another generic red versus blue style map, but this time, I feel actively uncomfortable while playing it. One team is playing for the approval of this horny demon cat, and the other has sworn their allegiance to the top half of a dead dog, that you can also find chained to a wall in this prison cell. What the literal f***? But if that somehow didn't make you uncomfortable enough, then nauseating, laggy gameplay during combat should do the trick. On a list of maps nobody was asking for, one based around the house from 2.5 Men would likely be on the first page. In my search for ridiculous creative maps, I did not think I would find this map, much like I did not think I would walk in on this cheeseburger orgy. But here we are. Now we're leaving. While I do feel somewhat uncomfortable role-playing as a high school student with a lobby of people that likely range between the ages of 8 and 40 years old, the map is fairly well designed for what it is. During the day, you play themed minigames that act as your classes, then during the night you take up odd jobs like farming and breaking into flower shops to make bouquets. With the money you earn from that, you can play more minigames in the fun zone or blow it all on coffee that lets you skip the taxi system entirely in favor of developing a crippling addiction to whatever drugs they're definitely putting in these drinks. And last but not least, the one thing everyone comes to Fortnite for, finding your soulmate. Here you can give yourself one of several tags including Pookie or Looking for Love. Then mingle with other strangers, communicating exclusively through emotes and suggestive body language until someone makes it weird and tries to send you an actual friend request. At which point you realize you're essentially playing a dating sim for small children and you're a 30-year-old man. So before Chris Hansen walks through my door, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up.